Hey YouTube, Tyler here. Sorry I'm doing this on my laptop, but my camera is currently importing and I just really had to get to this review because um, I'm a little behind. I saw this Thursday and this movie was released what is approaching 2 weeks, so gotta get it in that window. Doing this review for Captain America Winter Soldier, Captain America 2. And being a Marvelite, I'm I was very excited for this. And before I move anywhere else, before I move forward, I must first establish that there are spoilers coming. So if you haven't seen it, you need to see it, because it's a Marvel film. Come on, you should make it a tradition to watch every Marvel Studios movie. You could skip Amazing Spider-Man 2. I wouldn't skip Days of Future Past if I were you, but yeah, you definitely can't skip a Marvel Studios film, especially if you're a Marvel fan like me. If you are a Marvel fan like me, and if you haven't seen it yet, what the heck? Come on. So before I start the review, I must also establish that I've read the Winter Soldier comic, and so I had high standards for this one because it's a very good comic, um, and the directors did a very good job demonstrating the feeling of that comic. I already kind of knew what was going to happen. But moving forward, let me just say, if you're watching this and have yet to see the movie, there are spoilers that lie ahead. So if you don't want anything ruined, stop watching now and buy a movie ticket right away, because it would be a real shame if you missed Captain America Winter Soldier in theaters. So I'm going to break this up to a couple sections. First section, I'll talk about how it compares to other Marvel films. Next section, I'll talk about plot, character development, your basic story line, your regular review of a movie. Second, I'll talk about just the continuity of Marvel films. Third, I'll talk about how this will be moving forward in Marvel films. And fifth, I'll talk about how I think Captain America 3 will happen, and what's going to happen to Steve Rogers. So how does this compare to other Marvel films? There was one review that very much piqued my interest by, I forget which publication, but it said is better than the Avengers. And I found it very hard to believe when I heard that. But then I saw Captain America 2 Winter Soldier, and I got where they were coming from. I don't know if it's better than the Avengers, because it's really hard to beat the Avengers. But what is so great about Captain America 2 Winter Soldier is the pace of it is unbelievable. It's a true cinematic experience. When you're watching the movie, you feel like you're watching like a really good James Bond film, like GoldenEye. If you've ever seen GoldenEye, it felt very much. Well, if you've read the Winter Soldier comic, they did a very good job finding the feeling you would get when reading the comic. There's espionage, there's double agents, there are very high stakes, so yeah, well, this just takes me right into the next, which is story and character development and all that. It has the full package. It has a good story, it has great characters, it has great character development, and yeah, let's just go with the story. Steve Rogers carries this whole story with his character development and his exactly where he left off. He feels like a fish out of water. He feels like he's not in the right place, and he's just kind of trying to keep himself distracted by staying busy with Shield and working out and trying to do the whole thing, but he does not like where this world is headed. He likes the internet and stuff like that. He likes how much easier certain things are, but deep down morally, he's just like, this world is messed up. I don't like how Shield operates. Don't like where this world is headed. Things were better back then when people cared about stuff. And that really showed when Steve realized that Winter Soldier was Bucky, and it expresses so much of his character, why he does not want to lose Bucky. Because Bucky is literally his last connection to the 40s is his friend Bucky, and because his friend Bucky was also cryogenically frozen on and off throughout the past 6 or 7 decades. Because of that, Bucky's about the same age as Steve Rogers, and he doesn't Steve even visited Peggy in the movie, and Peggy, his love interest from the first movie, and Peggy has Alzheimer's. She has a full-on conversation about him, and with him, and then snaps all of a sudden, and then she starts crying like, "Oh my God, Steve Rogers, you're alive!" And then, very good acting by Evans at that moment when Chris Evans is like, "Oh, you don't remember, you forget things." Oh, yeah. So that's when you see oh man, Steve's just looking, and he goes to that museum 3 times in the movie, just trying to remember how things were and not lose everything. And that's something that you really see him struggling with throughout the whole movie, and that was completely relatable and very well done by the writers and everything to really include that. Character development. I really liked how Black Widow progressed. I did not like Black Widow in the Avengers or any of the Iron Man films. I feel like she was only in Iron Man 2, but I feel like this was the first time you really got to see her, what motivates her and everything. Loki did mention red in her ledger and everything when he was like, why would he know that in the Avengers? And this just really expressed it. It's just he's trying to just do good to repair her past, and it shows. And plot-wise, it was a great arc in the movie. Like I was talking about earlier, the suspense is great, and that's not just because the action or what happens in the movie, but it's just and it wasn't like a machine gun action movie where it's just action, action, action. It's just you didn't know who to trust, and it was like I said, like a spy thriller movie. Now, Marvel continuity-wise, this movie is great for multiple reasons in terms of Marvel continuity. Well, I'll just go into the first one, Easter eggs. Here's a bunch off the top of my head, and I really tried to pay attention and not miss any. One is Arnim Zola. Great character. He was introduced in the Winter Soldier comic. And this is where I wonder, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had to tie in, if you hadn't seen it. It was a really good tie-in. But I wonder if Arnim Zola is the clairvoyant in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because he is a computer. He's programmed his consciousness into a computer, so I wonder if he has that, if he is that thing in causing Hydra to start over. Hydra is a wonderful tie-in in itself. Hail Hydra. End of the movie Easter egg. Not only is there Baron von Strucker, but the spear Loki had, that spear is a big deal because it has an infinity gem in it. It has the mind gem, which makes total sense because why would Robert Redford and Sitwell and all these other agents go rogue unless they were being mentally controlled by something, aka the mind gem of the infinity gems tie into Avengers 3, tie into Guardians of the Galaxy, tie into Thanos, Infinity Gauntlet. Stephen Strange was referenced, so I really hope there's going to be a Doctor Strange movie in Phase 3. What else was there? Oh, this one was hard to spot, but Black Widow had a little arrow necklace on her neck, so Hawkeye relationship reference. I wish Hawkeye was in this movie. It doesn't make sense as to why he wasn't anywhere. Might explain it somewhere else later on, but yeah. Crossbones was in the movie. If you guys have read Civil War, you would know that Crossbones killed Steve Rogers in the end of Civil War. Not in Civil War, but right after Civil War. And that's how Bucky became Captain America later. And that's just Easter eggs. Also, in terms of continuity, Marvel continuity, what was supposed to happen, everything that was supposed to happen did happen and happened well. And that's something that's very hard to do and very unexpected in a movie, because even a Marvel movie, you're going into it like, I'm not going to be 100% satisfied. But no, everything was done perfectly. Hydra taking down S.H.I.E.L.D. was exactly what was supposed to happen. Well, exactly what I think should have happened in terms of moving the Marvel Cinematic Universe forward, because now, instead of having this big government organization, trying to defend everything, now you have this rogue agency that's going to be underground. Like, okay, if you're a comic book reader, take Secret Invasion for example. In Secret Invasion, one of the main reasons the superheroes won was because Nick Fury went underground and separated himself from the S.H.I.E.L.D. agency, and he found one of the aliens, and that's what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be like secret agents, well, former government paid secret agents. Now, I don't know, random rant, but that's what it's gonna be like, and I prefer that over the president has called you, Iron Man, to save the day. So moving forward in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a couple things have to happen. Well, okay, my biggest complaint about this movie, which is totally random, but my biggest complaint is the ending, is Bucky going to the museum and seeing himself, just like, who's that guy? But that was just like Iron Man 3 Easter egg, where it was Tony Stark getting therapy time with Bruce Banner, but that has to happen because Bucky Barnes has to find out who he is so he can become a superhero. So does that mean like he's gonna have a part in Avengers 2? I don't know. Apparently he has a 9-movie contract. So he has 7 more movies to do. And Chris Evans only has 2 movies left. So I think what's going to happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the future is Captain America, Steve Rogers, is going to die in Avengers 3. Probably by the hand of Thanos. uh, Guardians of the Galaxy will introduce Thanos and the whole concept of the Infinity Gauntlet, but it's going to take Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in phase in the end on the other end of phase 2 to explain it all and for them to meet the Avengers. It's been proposed that there's going to be a Black Widow movie in itself, but I don't think that's going to happen. Although I was very impressed with her character development in the movie, I don't think she can carry her own, and if it does happen, I think it will be Marvel's first mistake. Ant-Man's coming in the future, a little out of order, but I think that has to do with Robert Downey Jr. contracting. There will likely be a Doctor Strange movie, and I think that will also be an Avengers 3 tie-in. There's been talks of Doctor Strange miniseries on Netflix, but we'll see if that happens. What is really pending is a Black Panther movie, but I don't see the point, really. I don't see it tying in. Maybe if the new Avengers happen, because apparently Kevin Feige has said that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going till 2028 or something like that. And that kind of blows my mind because that means I'll be in my 40s when that comes out. And that just doesn't make sense. It's like, even with all the success that's happening now and how incredible Captain America 2 was and how great Thor 2 was and how, for the most part, great, except the ending, Iron Man 3 was. I don't see them continuing the momentum all the way through. Marvel is going for the throats of DC. DC tried to dodge them by moving their Batman Superman movie into 2016, but Marvel's like, nope, you can't escape us. And they moved Captain America 3 right into the same spot where Batman Superman was. Avengers 2, if you look online, there's already photos of them on set. Oh, the whole Quicksilver Scarlet Witch thing. I forgot to talk about that. I honestly don't know how I feel about that whole thing. But I will say that it's also Marvel going for the throats of Fox, because they can't say they're mutants. They can't say they're related to Magneto, according to the contractual. So I think it's going to end up being Baron Braun Strucker has experimented on them and used the mind gem in that scepter that Loki had in Avengers to control their minds. And it's going to be just like Hawkeye was in Avengers, where you have two superpowered villains. I mean, just like in the comics, you end up on the Avengers when they hit their heads. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to beat Captain America 2 in terms of the quality of a solo film outside the Avengers. If you haven't seen it, there's concept art out for Avengers 2, and it showed Hulkbuster Iron Man suit versus Hulk, which will be amazing and probably the best part of the movie. I'm not really big in Ultron. I feel like it's kind of a ripoff of Skynet, the Terminator, the company in Terminator that created the Terminators. But I think I think Avengers 2 is going to be really close in quality to Avengers 1, and we're not going to see a real boost in quality in terms of an Avengers film until Avengers 3. And Marvel-wise, they're definitely gonna have. They're not gonna have like this same Avengers cast throughout all of it. There's no way you can have a 60-something-year-old Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, that sucks. So they're definitely gonna go the new Avengers route, where they're just gonna have new teams of superheroes, which is frustrating. It feels kind of like Batman to me now, well, knowing that they're going that far. And we're just gonna have they're gonna have 10 years of amazing Marvel movies, and then we're gonna then Phase 3 will be over. You know, Steve Rogers will die first. Then I don't know what's gonna happen with Thor. He's immortal. You know, I'll go back to Asgard and claim the throne of Odin. So bye, Midgardians, I will bid you a farewell. And then, how are you gonna kill the Hulk? You know, regenerative factor. It's just, sorry. You know, it's just random rants. I am so sorry, but this is how I'll close this, because if you're still watching, thank you. If you aren't, I don't blame you. But Captain America: Winter Soldier is the perfect Marvel film for so many reasons, because it's not just a superhero movie. It's a movie that keeps you thinking, plus gives you great action fight scenes. So the quality of this movie is so great. It's just like, yeah, that was amazing. But you can't do movies that amazing every time. So now the bar for us is going, like, just keeps raising and raising and raising. And then Kevin Feige busts out 2028, and you're just like, holy, what? You can't make movies that good for 20-something years. 22 years. It's going to be 22 years of that. Anyways, that's it for me, YouTube. Thanks for watching.